Hey friends, welcome back to Cloud Sherpa. I'm your host, Derek Roush. If you're an IT leader or a business owner who keeps hearing the word AI tossed around like it's some sort of pixie dust that you could simply sprinkle on your business and make it magically better, you're in the right place. Today, we're going to talk about how to get started with AI in a smart way without all the hype. Not the buy something because a vendor cornered you at an expo way. We're going to talk about the smart, structured, and strategic way. And if you're new here, please hit subscribe, like the video, and share it with someone who is stressing about AI. How about a friend? Please, let's get into it. First, let's talk about why companies are approaching AI backwards. The majority of companies approach AI like a kid approaching a trampoline. They just simply jump on and try to figure out the physics later. They buy tools before defining the problem. They listen to vendors before listening to their own teams. And they skip strategy and hope for magic. The truth is that AI is not a product. AI is a capability. And capabilities need strategy, structure, data, and a whole lot of clarity before they create value. At Vocal Point, we guide businesses through that clarity. We're not here to sell you a shiny tool. We're here to help you understand what you actually need and why. Our IT Compass framework focuses on planning, procurement, and project management. And AI fits beautifully into that process because AI is not one decision, it's many. It touches people, processes, policies, and technology. So today, think of this as your starting roadmap, or your compass, if you will. The first step you want to do is build a clear business case before you touch anything. Before you do anything with AI, you need to answer one question, and that is, what problem are you trying to solve? This question seems obvious, but you would be shocked at how many organizations just totally skip it. If you don't start here, you're going to end up with 10 different tools, 15 invoices, and probably 0 results. You'll probably also discover that every department in your organization has already started experimenting on their own, which is basically how budgets get set on fire. So let's break this down. Your business case should include, number one, the pain point you want to solve. Maybe it's long call queues, slow ticket resolution, or a pile of manual tasks that make your team want to cry. 2, you need to basically include the measurable outcome that you want. If you don't have anything to measure, then what are you doing? So think about faster response times, reduced cost, better customer experience, fewer mistakes. Pick 1 or 2, not 10. Third, you need to consider who benefits and who is involved. If AI doesn't change someone's daily work in a positive way or save a boatload of time, it's not valuable.
You're so effing smart.
And number 4, consider your time sensitivity. Do you need this solved in 90 days, or is this a strategic initiative for 2026? This clearly makes every downstream decision easier. It also helps you from getting hypnotized by all the vendor chaos. Step 2, you need to prepare your data and processes. This part is not sexy, but it separates success from disaster. Companies love talking about AI, but they forget AI runs on data, clean data, organized data, and even accurate data. If your data is a mess, AI is just going to make you an even bigger mess. It basically multiplies your dysfunction. So start here. Number 1, identify the data sources you need, such as ticketing systems, CRM, ERP, call recordings, knowledge bases. 2, check the quality. If your agents enter notes like talk to guy, fix stuff, left message, right? AI is not going to do much with that.
Who does that?
Number 3, map your processes. AI improves processes, but it can't fix processes you don't have. You need to either have those processes in place or you need to design new processes. And number 4, standardize your workflows. If every employee handles the same tasks differently, AI fails. Bring consistency. A quick rule of thumb: if you wouldn't trust a new hire with your current docs, data, or processes, AI won't trust them either. Generative AI. Now we're talking about text generation, content creation, emails, summaries, call transcripts. It's great for knowledge tasks. Predictive AI. It can be used for forecasting, churn prediction, demand modeling, or risk scoring. Automated AI. Think of this as workflow automation. robotic process automation, triage routing, or even auto classification, conversational AI. Here you're talking about chatbots, voice bots, agent assist, contact center automation, computer vision AI. This is where we get into AI cameras, inventory scanning, image detection, quality control. Your job isn't to become an expert in all of these. Your job is to identify which type aligns with your business case. If your biggest bottleneck is manual data entry, predictive AI is not going to be your hero. And if your pain point is long call wait times, computer vision is not going to save the day unless your customers are faxing you selfies. Match the type of AI to the problem, and your success rate skyrockets. Step 4, build an evaluation framework before talking to vendors. Now, here's where a lot of people get overwhelmed. Vendors show up with big promises, big visions, and bigger contracts, and CIOs end up stuck with demo fatigue. You need an evaluation framework that includes the following. Number 1, features and must-haves. Not nice-to-haves, must-haves. Number 2, integration requirements. Does this plug and play into the systems you already use, or will it just become another orphan tool? 3, consider the security and compliance needs. AI touches sensitive data. Know what you need legally and technically. The 4th thing you need to add to your vendor evaluation framework is user experience. If it's hard for your team to use, it will die on the battlefield and your adoption rate will plummet.
I feel like I'm dying inside.
Number 5, vendor maturity. Some AI vendors are brilliant. Some are 2 interns in a garage with a logo. Choose wisely. Number 6, total cost of ownership. You need to consider licenses, consumption, training, support, implementation, hidden fees, the works. Don't overlook anything here. And number 7, scalability. Think about, is this something that will actually grow with your business? And number 8, don't forget governance and risk in your vendor evaluation framework. Where will your data reside? What are the access controls, logging, etc.? Make sure you do this work before you start evaluating. It'll avoid shiny object syndrome. Step 5, run a pilot that can actually prove value. Now, pilots are critical these days. This is where you separate the wheat from the chaff. The pilot should be simple, measurable, and short. A good pilot usually answers 3 questions. Number 1, does this tool actually solve our problem? Number 2, does our team like using it? And number 3, can this scale beyond a small test group? Pick a single workflow or a single department. Don't pilot across the entire company unless you're sadistic and you like chaos.
I like that.
And remember, if a vendor can't get a pilot working in 60 days or so, you're not evaluating AI, you're babysitting.
No way, no!
Step 6, implementation and adoption. So implementation is really where AI is either going to succeed or fail. There's 5 areas that you need to prepare for when it comes to implementation. Number 1, technology readiness. Map out your APIs, your controls, integrations, authentication, role-based access, and data pipelines. Number 2, people readiness. You may want to consider change management training in order to gain alignment with all of your employees. Some will fear AI. Others will just poke at it and just see if they can make it fail. And number 3, process readiness. You need to document everything. Update workflows, remove redundant steps, clarify approvals. Number 4, prepare for time expectations. Some AI use cases can be implemented in weeks. Others may require months. Don't let anyone tell you it's just a plug and play. That's vendor folklore. And lastly, prepare for quality control. Systems need to be in place to monitor accuracy of your outputs and to track error rates and measure performance over time. When AI goes live, think of it more like onboarding a new employee who works fast but occasionally makes up facts. Keep an eye on it.
Whoopsie daisy!
Step 7, long-term support and governance. AI is not a one-and-done decision. AI needs ongoing care. Here's what long-term support looks like. Number 1, regular model reviews. Check accuracy, drift, and output quality. Number 2, data audits. Ensure new data sources are clean and consistent. Number 3, restraining cycles. Think about updating models as your business changes. And number 4, user feedback loops. Real people will spot issues faster than dashboards will. Number 5, security reviews. AI expands your attack surface. so protect it. And number 6, renewal and cost audits. AI pricing changes quickly, often without warning, so don't get surprised. And number 7, vendor accountability. Hold vendors to outcomes, not promises. And don't forget to dig into the contract terms with a fine-tooth comb. Some vendor contracts are worse than a big-haired Texas girl in a windstorm.
Oh, that's not very nice.
But look, it goes without saying. This is exactly why businesses rely on advisory firms like ours. You shouldn't need to master AI lifecycle management on your own. So at the end of the day, AI can absolutely transform your business. It can make your teams faster, your data more valuable, your processes more consistent, and your customers happier. But none of that happens if you start without a plan. And if you want someone in your corner who understands AI, understands vendors, understands implementation, and actually understands your business goals, reach out to us. That's what we do here at Focal Point Consulting every day. Drop a comment with your questions. Tell me what you want help on with next. And remember, you're not late to the AI game. You just need the right map. Until next time, Luke 9:23.